Now, there's been a lot of news, a lot of sad videos, a lot of anger, a lot of comments online about poor Sylvester. And I say poor Sylvester because really a life was lost. He had such a bright future ahead of him, and it feels like it was snuffed out for no good reason at all. There's a lot of information that comes up in the bulletins to give you all the facts, but we have so many questions that feel unanswered. You know, first of all, where are the kids now? The accused kids now? Where are they? What are their parents saying? Now, what exactly can be done? Because really, it does feel like no matter what happens now, still that poor boy's life has been lost.
I'll tell you something, Titi, and this is what irks me in the entire situation. The fact that there is so much to go with, but yet it seems nothing is happening. There are instances that were given on both sides before the boy passed, and from the students of the school who sent in text messages and all of that. These seem like material that can be used for investigation. Nobody's doing anything. If it was football, where are the kids that were playing football with him? If these were kids that actually came in to beat the poor boy, where are these kids, the accused kids that it's being alleged now have been taken out of the country, one or two of them? So there's so much, there's so many questions, there's so much that's left undone, whether by the school or by authorities outside the school. I still think there's so much more the Lagos State government can do apart from closing down the school. That was a good thing to do. However, there's so much more that can be done.
For me, there's something that is constant that we're sure of. There was gross negligence from the school. Gross, I must say, in the way they handled it, in the way it came out, in the way the information was disseminated. I mean, this boy got home, so they put out a number of statements after, more or less like trying to shore up or after the backlash.
Trying to protect the school.
Exactly. So, but they said something about how when it happened, the mom called and said the guardian was going to pick him. The guardian didn't come that day. The guardian came the next day, and the boy passed on a week after he had gotten home. But his situation or his condition degenerated gradually up until that time. You understand? And then just before he passed, he had mentioned, he had been talking to his parents, and he said it wasn't football. He was forced to say football at the beginning because apparently or allegedly he was threatened, and the rest of the kids were threatened to say that it was football. But like you said, if it was football, I mean, most of the time...
It takes 22 players, doesn't it?
Exactly. Or maybe 5 aside, could be 3 aside, whatever it is. Who are the other people that play with him? And then that's a school. Shouldn't they have CCTV? I know one of our producers, Olamide, had mentioned, there was a time when his son got a very serious gash on the forehead. They do have CCTV, but at that point, it so happened that the video was not available.
So something is being hidden.
You're in a school with children, a boarding school. In this day and age, CCTV is a must.
It's crazy. I think for me, what's more painful is the fact that, yes, Paul Sylvester, he's gone now, right? However, we have this very sad videos of him ruminating and going all over the internet. However, the alleged suspects, we have no identification, what they look like. What I would actually like is to see these boys paraded. I want to see their photos on the internet saying, okay, fine, these are the people suspected for doing this act. Because there's some, like we have like, we have names being sent in by students that actually were there when things happened, and they actually spoke about what exactly happened, how it happened, and all of that. So I actually like to see it. And another thing I like to talk about is the fact that, okay, fine, he died not immediately after, but a week after. What happened to the healthcare? Okay, fine, they were investigating what exactly the problem was, but at the same time, was he taken to a hospital? They said, okay, fine, he was. Some x-rays had gone. But then again, on site, certain doctors will be able to tell that, fine, this is a case, these are symptoms of poisoning. What can we do immediately to address that? 1 whole week is a lot of time to address whatever the situation was.
So now the challenge here is those kids are still considered minors, and there are some laws against putting out pictures of minors in any situation. Now, that is probably not going to happen. The parading part is probably not going to happen to the public.
You know what might happen? In the US, something just recently happened, a shooter over the last weekend. So he's going to be tried not as a minor, as an adult, because of the severity of what happened.
Exactly.
I understand what you're saying.
Because of the severity.
What you're saying, But the challenge is
happen.
there's probably no parents that would let that happen. If there are laws against it, there are probably no
By
parents.
the way, I just wanted to ask
happen.
this question.
Yeah.
In this day and age, I don't know, did you go to a boarding school?
I did. I went
This has
over.
raised many questions out there because
Yeah.
people are
And
now
we had terrible
reconsidering
experiences.
having their children in
Yes,
boarding schools. Because if you can't take care of them,
Terrible
if you're not
experiences.
sure what they're going through,
Yeah.
why send your kid to a boarding school?
Yeah.
One of that status, by the way,
Yeah.
to have no CCTVs,
Yeah.
no way of monitoring kids, it brings a lot of questions. So
Now, whether there was CCTV or not really remains to be seen. There probably was, but because it's a legal matter, they will not show any of those videos until lawyers
the
get
implications for
very
the school is
yes.
just all wrong.
But then again, there is
right.
that, right? But then again, I think the crux of the matter, CCTV or not, what happened will still have happened anyways. We'll just have footage of what happened. Now, the main thing is addressing the issue, right? The issue of bullying in secondary schools. I know right now in France, the law is actually put in place where you actually can get up to 10 years for just bullying. No situation of, and if the child actually commits suicide from bullying, then you can get like 10 years standard and all of that. So what are the things put in place for this particular things in
Well, there's
in
still plenty
schools?
to be said. We can't exhaust it here, so maybe even during the course of the show, we might still touch on it. Send in your messages and your view. We are at TVC. Hang on a second. I'm back only just 2 weeks since. So.
At TVC Connect with the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on
TVC. I'm so sorry.
Keep it short. And it's called Kiss. Keep it short and
Wouldn't you like to kiss me?
Wow.
Really?
break.